Hey, what's up everyone? John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to discuss how the language app from Lingodeer stacks up against Babbel and Duolingo. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. So I should just mention up front here that since I'll just primarily be focusing on the major highlights and lowlights of each of these language apps in this video today, if you find you need more detail at any point, we also have a full in-depth written comparison over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Duolingo versus Lingodeer versus Babbel. It's a quick way to find it. Alright, so a quick outline for this video. First, I'm going to cover subscription options and pricing. Then I'm going to discuss the 2 or 3 biggest strengths and weaknesses of each of these language programs before ending with the final verdict of which language app I would personally choose among these 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and quickly tackle pricing. Lingodeer does offer a free plan, but it's really more so of a limited trial. In order to access the full version, you'll likely have to sign up for Lingodeer Premium, which costs $15 per month, $40 per quarter, $80 per year, or $160 for a lifetime plan. Then, moving over to Babbel, they offer the first lesson in every course for free so you can test out the program, but then after that, you'll have to pay between $6 and $9 per month depending on which plan you select. And they also offer a lifetime plan that can be purchased for around $200. And then finally, there's Duolingo, who offers a completely free version. Though this version does come with several limitations, which I'll discuss in more detail here in a minute. But in order to unlock all of the different features that Duolingo has to offer, you'll likely have to sign up for the super version, which costs around $80 per year. So, all in all, pricing between these 3 companies is very close. They all offer subscription options that are very affordable in my opinion. Plus, what's nice is that Lingodeer and Babbel regularly have sales and special promotions, especially Babbel. I've seen their plans discounted by up to 60% before, so be sure to check the description below for coupon codes. I'll do my best to drop the latest promos and discounts down there for you. Hopefully save you some money. Okay, so with pricing out of the way, let's discuss the biggest strengths and weaknesses of each language program and how they stack up against one another. And let's start first with Lingodeer. The biggest strength for them, in my opinion, is their grammar explanations. Lingodeer does a great job with respect to grammar instruction. I'd say on par with Babbel and much better than Duolingo. And this is delivered through their learning tips feature. So essentially at any time, whether you're in the middle of a lesson or not, you can click on this little light bulb symbol and an ebook style pop-up will appear containing a detailed explanation and examples of grammar rules and principles that are specific to the lesson or unit you're currently working on. Overall, I found this feature to be super helpful. Lingodeer definitely goes above and beyond to ensure that you understand the building blocks of grammar as you progress through their courses. Alright, so next up, strength number 2 for Lingodeer, and that's their HD audio clips. They are very clear and crisp, and the sentences are obviously recorded by fluent speakers. And I know that might sound like a minor point, but it's not. This is actually one of my biggest gripes with Duolingo. Their audio is not recorded for full sentences, so some of their recordings sound a little unnatural and choppy. So key takeaway here is that Lingodeer does a great job with the audio portion of their lessons. As does Babbel, they both excel in this department. Okay, last up here, strength number 3, is that I like that Lingodeer doesn't take a cookie cutter approach to language learning, and instead they customize their courses for each language. So instead of just including generic default objects, foods, sports, and other thematic topics, Lingodeer actually personalizes each of their courses for the specific foods, places, and objects that are relevant to the country or culture for the language that you're learning, which is awesome. Not all language apps do this, so I definitely have to give Lingodeer credit here for making each of their courses unique. Alright, so now that you understand a little bit about what Lingodeer has to offer, let's talk about the strengths of the Babbel program. And number 1 for them is that their courses and lessons are better than Lingodeer and Duolingo for developing your speaking skills, in my opinion. With Lingodeer, there's really not much verbal practice outside of their stories feature. And with Duolingo, you're really just asked to repeat words and phrases in a vacuum. In contrast with Babbel, their verbal exercises are much more robust. Plus their speech recognition technology is top-notch. So really, Babbel wins on 2 fronts here. Their verbal practice exercises are more comprehensive, plus you're able to receive immediate feedback on your pronunciation. So bottom line, when it comes to developing your verbal skills so you can start to hold basic conversations, Babbel is clearly the winner. Okay, so strength number 2 for Babbel, and I alluded to this earlier, is that when it comes to grammar content, Babbel is right up there with Lingodeer. And what I particularly like about Babbel in this regard is that they don't hit you over the head with long, dense explanations, because sometimes I actually think that can do more harm than good, especially during the early stages of language acquisition. So rather than having to click on a separate ebook style lesson like you do with Lingodeer, Babbel actually integrates grammar instruction into their core lessons. and they do it in a very subtle and skillful way. For example, at the beginning of a new lesson, you might read a quick 1 to 2 sentence explanation in English regarding adjectives versus adverbs, after which you'll be asked to complete a fill-in-the-blank exercise or drill to reinforce what you just learned. So overall, I not only like that Babbel makes grammar instruction a priority, but I especially like how they weave it into their lesson plan. And by the way, if you want to see some examples of the grammar lessons from Babbel, be sure to check out that full detailed written comparison I mentioned. I'll have it linked down below in the description for you. I have screenshots and examples over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Alright, so strength number 3 is that I think Babbel does a better job than both Duolingo and Lingodeer of using natural sentences and phrases. With Lingodeer, sometimes the order in which they introduce new words and phrases can be a little confusing. For example, I just didn't understand why the words lawyer and robot were introduced in a beginner Spanish lesson before more basic and useful words like hot and cold. And then with Duolingo, it just seems like sometimes they pair random words together. For example, during a couple of the Duolingo lessons that I did, I came across sentences like, I am making dinner out of you, and the bed is food. It's not a huge deal, but I definitely think Babbel gets the win in terms of logical lesson progression and natural language usage. Alright, so last up, strength number 4 for Babbel is that they offer live classes. Now, to be clear, these classes are not included in Babbel's standard subscription packages, and you do have to pay extra. But if you think live classes would help, the company offers hundreds of small group live classes per week covering all sorts of different subjects across all learning levels. You can learn about some really cool topics, all while improving your language skills. These classes are just a nice way to dive deeper into specific subjects, practice chatting with your peers who are also learning, and learn from experienced instructors. And since there are so many classes, you can basically pick the days and times that work for you and then drop in and out of class as you please. Alrighty, so last up here we've got Duolingo. But before I hit you with that, I should mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning program to one lucky person, just as a way of saying thank you for supporting the channel. It's super simple to enter. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know it takes like 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know, you could win a lifetime pass to one of the language courses that I'm talking about here today. Okay, so let's talk Duolingo. And I'll be honest here, compared to Lingodeer and Babbel, there's not a ton to get excited about. I guess number 1 would be the fact that Duolingo offers a free plan, which is obviously great. I love that their language programs are accessible to everyone. But just to set expectations here, as I mentioned earlier, there are some limitations that come along with that free price tag. Most notably, the free plan contains ads, which can become distracting and are pretty annoying. Also, the heart system that Duolingo uses can also be discouraging. Essentially, within the Duolingo lessons, hearts equal mistakes. And with the free version, you have a limited amount of mistakes, so if you make too many, you either have to stop and review old lessons in order to earn more hearts back to continue, or you just give up for the day. It's kind of a bummer. Those are really the 2 biggest drawbacks of the free version. And second, I really like how Duolingo gamifies the language learning experience. So, as you complete each lesson, you earn experience points, or XP points for short, as well as Duolingo currency known as Lingots. The XP points relate to your daily lesson work and allow you to track your progress, while the Lingots can be used to purchase additional features within the Duolingo store. And I'm also a big fan of Duolingo's app and digital platform, and all the cool visuals and reminders that they provide in general. Their dashboard is intuitive and easy to navigate, and it includes a daily goal tracker, a scoreboard where you can compete against other people, you can invite your friends, keep track of your achievements and streaks, etc., etc. And all of this together creates a really fun and collaborative environment to keep you motivated and having fun. So Duolingo definitely gets a shout out from that perspective. Okay, so final verdict time. Should you go with Lingodeer, Babbel, or Duolingo to learn a new language? Well, after testing out each app, there's a clear winner in my book, and that's Babbel. Although Lingodeer and Duolingo certainly excel in a few key areas, I just think Babbel overall offers the most complete and well-rounded language courses. Between their quick, engaging lessons, verbal practice exercises, helpful grammar instruction, fast and accurate speech recognition technology, and their live classes, Babbel simply gives you the best chance of quickly reaching an intermediate level of fluency. And that's all I've got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, dropping us a quick comment below. That'd really be appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written comparison that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.